It's December 2023, so you know what that means. It's time for another Haterade Cowboy Cinema home theater tour. Let's discuss. This video is in partnership with Mint Mobile and is partially sponsored by Valencia Theater Seating. What's up, guys? Welcome to my home theater tour for 2023. This is going to be a very different video from last year. So much has changed since the last home theater tour that I did about a year ago. So I'm super excited to show you everything that's in my theater. You're going to see some things that haven't changed. You're going to see a lot of things that have changed. And then you're also going to see some things that I'm hoping to do. I know last year I talked about some things that I wanted to accomplish. I did accomplish some of those things. Most of them I didn't. But yeah, I hope you enjoy the tour this year. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll get started at the back of the theater, and then we can just work our way around to the front of the theater. So at the back of the theater, I have my left rear surround. So this is the Arendal 1723 S model THX. And yeah, if you've been following the channel, you know that I started out with kind of like a hodgepodge setup with some Polk speakers. And then last year I got my first Arendal speaker, absolutely loved it. And then I've been upgrading to Arendal ever since. So right now the whole room is completely Arendal speakers. Now, some of these speakers I still don't own yet. For instance, these, the 1961, most of the 1961s I am reviewing, and I'm still making content with it. And once I finish playing with them and I finish making all the content that I want to make with it, I am going to purchase them. So that was my goal. Previously, I was using the 1961 towers in my rear for my rears, but they're a lot smaller and they're angled up. And even though they're incredibly great speakers for the size and the price, I just didn't like how they were just smaller, and I could just tell whenever things panned to the back, the sound would just drop down because they were so low and they were angled up. So I wanted pretty much all of my bed layer speakers to be pretty much on the same level. They aren't completely, but yeah. So this is the 1723S monitor. This has two 6.5-inch woofers, and then you have a 28mm tweeter inside of a waveguide, and it is in an MTM configuration. So I really love these speakers. Super awesome upgrade, and the theater is just sounding incredible right now. And then on top of that, I have the Harmony Elite remote that I'm still using, even though the company is now defunct. Well, at least, you know, the remote side of the company. I'm still bummed out that they're not making any more remotes. I've had this remote since before its inception to the public. So I got this as a beta release. They used to have a beta program where you could test out products, software. It used to be just software, and then one day they emailed everybody like, hey, we have a special product that we're going to be sending you. Had to sign an NDA. We didn't know what it was, and then I got it and I was like, oh my goodness, this is awesome. So this is the Elite controller. This connects to the hub that's in my rack, which I'll show you. But yeah, I still think that this is the best, remote on the planet for home theater. It's a universal remote, and I still continue to use it. And what's interesting is a lot of the times, even newer products, some of the new products are still in the database, which is weird. But you can also, teach the remote new codes if that product isn't in their database. But yeah, this is still the best universal remote that I've used. I use it all the time. I know a lot of people are into like home automation, which I am, but as far as like voice commands, I use all that stuff in my house. But when it comes to home theater, I don't want to have to raise my voice or hit mute to say a command. It's very quick, it's in my hand, and then I have all the controls. I can go in here and it's just great. And I'm gonna use this thing until it dies, or unless something else comes out better. I might think about Control 4 someday, but it's a little bit out of my price range right now. So as far as the wall, I did pretty much finished this accent wall that's here. I still have some stuff to do. I need to paint the ceiling. This wall, it's kind of an eyesore because it's still white. I'm probably going to end up painting this black, hopefully in the next couple weeks, maybe towards the end of December. So I need to do that. I need to find a light fixture that's black, so that, because I want everything to be black. I might even take down some of my action figures. I don't know yet. And then down below, I have one of my pride and joys. I have many of those in this theater now, but my SVS PB 4000 speaker is a ported subwoofer, and this thing is a monster. I have another SVS sub that I bought a couple years ago. I'll show you that one as well. I bought this one, I think, earlier this year, so I got it as a review unit, loved it, decided to buy it, purchase it. So this is my main sub. This is like the sub that pretty much drives all the bass in my theater. I do have another SVS sub, but it doesn't come close to touching this thing. This is kind of like my reference anytime I compare, even though I might not do like video comparisons on YouTube uploaded for you to see. I always compare pretty much how it sounds to this thing because it's awesome. And you can see I still have the physical remote in the package. I haven't even opened it yet. I never use this thing because it has a app on my phone and my tablet, so if I ever need to make adjustments, I just open up the app on my phone and it connects to Bluetooth. But there's that, and then I believe that has a 13.5-inch driver on it, so this thing hits incredibly hard. Now, because of my setup, I'm not able to do near field because my door is right behind. Door is like catty corner to my seats, and I planned it out perfectly to where the door doesn't hit the seats when it's reclined. But it is close enough to where I still do get kind of a tactile feel. Like I can feel it in my back, you know, my chest a little bit too. So it's a perfect placement. I would like to play around with it and move it up front, but this thing is so heavy, I'd have to move it up over the riser, and I just leave it back here. But yeah, there's that one. I don't remember the specs. I'll try to throw some up on the screen, but this thing hits incredibly hard. I absolutely love it. And yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to get rid of this thing. Oh, I also wanted to mention the stand that the Arendal speakers, all of my Arendal speakers, the floor speakers, bed layer speakers are on. So these are Monolith stands. I was trying to find something price conscious and durable. If you know anything about speaker stands, one, they're always incredibly expensive, but on the opposite side, they're usually not built very well. So I got this off of Amazon, and I was scouring through Amazon for days, weeks, probably months, trying to find a good speaker stand. And then I found this one. This is made by Monolith, and it got good reviews. And that was another thing about the other speaker stands, is they didn't have good reviews. So I found this one, purchased it, loved it. I'm using 5 of them. I have 2 of them in the back, and then I have 3 that my LCR is on. And then Shane Lee saw my video, one of my previous videos, and was like, hey man, you might want to fill those with some play sand because you will get some resonance because it's hollow inside. So thanks for the recommendation, Shane. I have all the stands filled with play sand and I get no resonance. So that's pretty much it for this back corner. Why don't we head over to the other side, which has my right rear surround, and then it has my rack, and there's a lot of cool, exciting stuff in the rack that I can't wait to show you. All right, so this is the right rear surround, another Arendal 1723 monitor STHX speaker. As I said, I have 5 of these, and yeah, I pretty much told you all there is about this speaker, so I'm not gonna, beat a dead horse. But this is my right rear surround, and it's also on another Monolith stand. And then I have a little temperature sensor for my Ecobee. I just got these during Black Friday, so I have this one, and then I have one in another room just to kind of get a little bit more even airflow or accurate reading for temperatures. And then I have just a little Astros memorabilia. But there's that, and then right behind me is where most of the exciting stuff happens. So this is my rack. This is my personal rack. However, not everything in this rack is mine. Some things are review units. I will have to send them back. I'm not going to tell you which ones they are. You'll have to watch the my previous videos to find out what those are. But I got a lot of cool stuff in here to show you. But before I show you everything that's in my rack, a quick word from our channel partner, Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for as low as $15 a month, and you don't have to sacrifice any coverage, speed, or data. They're built on the nation's largest 5G network, and they keep costs low because they sell direct to you online, cutting out the retail stores and salespeople. So why should you pay more than you have to for access to the same network? All Mint Mobile plans include unlimited nationwide talk and text, plus lightning fast 5G and free mobile hotspot. Mint also offers a modern family plan that lets you set up a super affordable family plan with as little as 2 lines. Click the link in my description or scan the QR code if you're interested in the best value in wireless.
Hey there, it's Ryan Reynolds, owner of Mint Mobile. Enticing, right?
All right, so this is my rack, and I don't know if you'll be able to tell in this video, but my rack is leaning. Now, I purchased this rack I purchased it used for probably about, I think $200, maybe a little bit less. Some guy was selling it on OfferUp, and I needed a new rack, and it was a perfect size. And yeah, this thing is sturdy. I love this thing. The only thing is at the very bottom, the casters, where that little metal piece that goes across with it, that holds the casters. I think because I'm on carpet and that metal is very thin, the area where the casters are has bent. So I noticed it a few months ago, and it's just progressively gotten worse. Like, it's actually leaning. I actually have some 2x4s on the bottom of it just in case it falls over. I don't think it will, but it sucks because I really like this and I really wish I could keep it, but unfortunately I'm probably gonna have to get a new rack at some point, and those are very expensive. So I want to take the wheels off and just set it down flat, but right now I can't really do that because I'd have to take everything out of it again. Anyways, that's my rack. And as far as what's in here, so at the top we have the Kaleidescape. So this is their, I guess, older original one. This isn't the new ones, but I have Kaleidescape there. And I haven't really downloaded any movies on it yet. I pretty much all the movies that I have or that I would want to have I already own on like 4K Blu-ray. So that's why I haven't really downloaded anything. I might start downloading some movies next year. I mean, it's only a month away, but I didn't really see anything on Black Friday that I wanted. So, you know, hopefully soon I'll start downloading some movies and I can start using that, and I can start using it for reviews because it's awesome for reviews. You can create like scenes, specific scenes, your favorite scenes, and it's so easy to pull up, especially for somebody that's on YouTube. So you got the Kaleidescape, and then right underneath that, I have a Bridgie smart home controller. This isn't set up yet. I met these guys at ZIDOO a couple months ago, and they sent me a 8K HDMI cable, fiber optic cable that I'm actually using right now. Works awesome. And then they were like, hey, we'll send you our controller that they had on display. So it comes with this remote. Really nice remote. I really like the quality of it. I like the feel of it. However, it doesn't have a screen, so that's kind of a bummer because I'm used to a screen on my Harmony. But the cool thing about this is it's IP controlled. So it has infrared blasters on it, and then you can basically control everything over IP, which is far more reliable than trying to rely on like wireless with a hub and a remote. Again, I love my Harmony Elite, but being able to control something over IP is much more reliable, and you probably won't have any issues. It's going to turn on and turn off all the time. So I'm still working with these guys to get this set up. I don't have it set up yet, but it looks like it's going to be a pretty cool product. So I have that, and then right beneath that I have the Arvolution Player One. So been using that. I made a couple videos on that already, I think 1 or 2. I still need to do an actual like video review for that, but I did go extensively into like the settings, because it's kind of controversial. Like, people are saying that it's a direct replacement. It's the same company for Zapiti. I had Raphael on, and he confirmed it's a brand new company. However, it looks pretty much the same, as the, I think it's the Neo, ZPD Neo. And you know, you've got your hard drive bay there. I don't have one in there right now, but you put your hard drive in there. So that's the Revolution Player 1. Much snappier, better upgraded or updated user interface GUI over the ZPD. So that's pretty cool. And then below that, I have the Spatial Audio Calibration Toolkit. So if you want one of these, I do have an affiliate link, and if you purchase it, I will get a small commission. So I have that there. And then right underneath the Revolution player is the ZIDOO Z9X Pro. So this is like my main driver for all of my media in my home theater. It does 4K Ultra HD, it does 4K rips, 1:1. It does, let's see, what else does it do? It does ISO rips, it does BDMV folders, it does Blu-ray 3D, ISO 3, like it does, it'll play anything that you throw at it pretty much. I haven't seen anything in my media library that it hasn't played. And what's really cool is that it has an companion app on your iPad, your iPhone. So I use that a lot when, I don't use it a lot as much as I should, but I do use it more frequently now when I'm watching movies. And you know, if I want to pull up a quick scene or if I want to scrub through, it's actually much faster using my tablet, the app, the mobile app. So that's cool. And then I have a controller for my Xbox Series X. And then I have the NVIDIA Shield 2017, which I don't think I've used that thing in at least a couple months. Like I haven't even turned it on. I mean, it's on right now, but I haven't used it. So, you know, that comes in handy too when I'm doing movie reviews or product reviews and I'm playing some different scenes from movies. That's actually a lot quicker than the ZIDOO because it runs off, I have Plex on it, and then it has the chapter preview thumbnails and I can just go straight to the chapter. However, when I start using the Kaleidescape, it's going to be even better. So under that, I have my Xbox Series X. I don't really play that as much as I used to, but I have been playing the new Jedi, is it Jedi Survivor? Whichever one is the newest one. I just started playing that one a couple weeks ago. That one's pretty fun. Right next to that, I have my Apple TV 4K, the original. And then on top of that, I have my Harmony hub. And man, there's a lot of dust in here. I need to go in here and clean it up again. But there's a Harmony hub. Below that, I have the OPPO 203 4K Blu-ray player. This to me is still the best Blu-ray player on the planet that has ever been created. I know some people are going to go in the comments and you're going to say, oh, what about Panasonic UB9000? I personally haven't had the opportunity to review that. I have reached out to them numerous times and asked for a review unit. That hasn't happened. I don't know if it's going to ever happen. So I can't say whether or not it lives up to OPPO 203. I know a lot of you guys say that it does and even it exceeds it because it has that, you know, tone mapping that the OPPO doesn't have, but this thing is built like a tank. It's been pretty much flawless. It does have a couple little bugs, but I can't bring myself to get rid of it, even though, you know, they're selling, I don't know what they're selling for now, but at one point they were selling for like $1,500, $1,700, or if not more. Underneath that, I have the Panamax MR4000. So this was the first one that I bought. I'm basically just using it now because for extra outlets, but I upgraded this one. I upgraded the 4000 to the Panamax, the M5300. So I think I got this one earlier this year. So got that one and wanted to update it to something better, a little bit better quality. And then it also has more outlets on this as well. And then below that, I have the Emotiva UPA 700. This is a 7-channel, I believe 85 watts per channel amplifier. So I've been an Emotiva fanboy for years, since I bought my first Emotiva amplifier, which I have down at the bottom. But this thing has been running like a tank. All my Emotiva products have been running like a tank. The only thing I don't like about it is that it's unbalanced RCA. And with unbalanced RCA, I get a ton of feedback on my speakers that are running this. I don't have that on my LCR because my LCR is running off of an Emotiva amplifier that's balanced balanced XLRs. And you know, when I got the RMC1, I took every single thing out of my rack. Like, I completely gutted it. There was nothing in there, and I did proper wire management. I separated the power cables from the speaker cables because I was getting feedback before, but I'm getting a lot more now instantly. But hopefully sometime in the near future, I'm going to be upgrading to something with balanced XLRs. I'm not going to say what it is yet because I don't have it. I don't know when I'm going to get it, and I don't even know if I'm allowed to talk about it. But I've been a fanboy for years, but I'm ready to try something else. So I might be getting rid of this at some point. Below that, I have the Emotiva RMC1. So there's been a lot of things in my theater over the years, and even within the last 6 months, that I've had that has been a transformative experience. I want to say this has been number one out of all of them. This is my first processor. So prior to this, I was using a Anthem MRX 720 receiver. I still have it, but I was using that as basically as a pre-out because it has 11 channel pre-outs. I think it does 9 channels, 7 or 9 channels. I think it does 9. But I was using that as a pre-out, and I've had many different receivers over the years. I think my last 2 to 3 receivers also had pre-out, so I was using it as a pre-pro. But I still didn't know what to expect, even though the MRX sounded amazing. And I had heard so many people talk about Emotiva, about how awesome it sounded, even with all of its little flaws. I was like, you know what? Let me get one on the channel and try it out because I don't have turn-off money, and that may never happen. Hopefully at some point I can get that as an in-game. But this is much more affordable, and it's expandable to 28 channels whenever that's going to happen. But as soon as I got this and I hooked it up, I didn't change any settings. It literally was transformative. I didn't realize my theater could sound so much better. And that was before I had all Arendal speakers. I still had, some kind of mix and match. This thing is amazing. It does have some bugs and it does have some quirks, and I still need to make a review on this. Hopefully I'll have this out by the end of the year. But I love the Emotiva RMC1. Like, the sound is just absolutely just amazing. So I can't even imagine what a turn-off would sound like. So I have that. Below that, I have another Emotiva amplifier, Basics A5. I believe that's 90 watts a channel. So below that, I have the Emotiva XPA3 Gen 2. So that was the first amplifier that I ever bought from Emotiva, and just bought, period. And that thing has been running like a champ. One of the fuses went out on it once and I had to send it in, but other than that, it's been running absolutely flawless. So, and that one is 3 channels, and it has, I want to say it's like 300 watts per channel at 4 ohms, and it has balanced and unbalanced connections. So I'm using the balanced connections now. I can actually utilize it because I have the RMC1. But yeah, 4 ohms. Oh, and by the way, all the Arendal speakers are 4 ohm speakers. So make sure you feed them a lot of power because they sound awesome with a lot of power. So I think that's everything in the rack. I don't think I'm forgetting everything. But yeah, that's the rack. And yeah, now let me, I guess, tell you about my overhead speakers that are up here in the back. Oh, and behind me, depending on where I'm standing at right now, I have an acoustic panel, a 24x48 that I personally made myself. So I have a couple of those that I made, and then I have some bass traps that I got from Acoustimac, and pretty much all the acoustics in here is Acoustimac. I do have some of the acoustic material that in the room, but I didn't want to forget to tell you guys about that. All right, so for Atmos speakers, I have a couple of different speakers that I'm using, but behind me, you'll see I have the 1961 height speakers. So I actually have 4 of these, only 2 of them are installed right now. But I reached out to Arendal once they announced that the Arendal 1961 line of speakers were going to be no more. I was like, my plan was to get some of these anyway. And so I reached out to him. I was like, hey, can you, send me some? Because I wanted to get them before they ran out. Didn't know what they were going to be replacing it with. And so I have 4 of these. I have 2 that are mounted here behind me. So this is my left rear height. I forget how it's called in the RMC1. Different processors and receivers have different names and configurations. But this is my right rear, and then I have one, this is my left rear, and then I have one on the other side for my right rear. And this is also another transformative experience. So before I was using, as you'll see here, I was using some Polk in-ceiling speakers. And when I first moved into the house, again, I said I had them pre-wired. You can see where they pre-wired it. But I had them pre-wired in the house, and I was on a budget. I had just bought a house, and I had in-ceilings at my parents' house before in my theater room. And so I just went ahead and bought some, basically cheap Polk in-ceiling speakers. I have 4 of those. They're still in the ceiling. I'm not using them right now, obviously, because, upgrade. But yeah, it served me well. They were behind me, and it does have a little aimable tweeter. But once I installed the 1961 height speakers, wow, just phenomenal experience, phenomenal upgrade, so much better. I have so much more leeway as far as like how I can aim them, and it's just a much better experience. One of my favorite scenes to demo is the Godzilla versus Kong scene when they meet for the second time in Tokyo, and there's Godzilla's breath, whatever it's called, that the nuclear breath, I don't remember what it's called. Somebody will correct me. But when he's shooting that stuff and there's all kinds of stuff flying around, man, you really hear it in these speakers. And having them behind me and being able to be aimed not only towards me but towards everybody, it was just an amazing experience. I watched a ton of movies, ton of demos, and I'm so glad that I got these. Again, you can't get them anymore, so hopefully you got yours in. But I'm so glad I got these because it makes a world of difference versus in-ceiling speakers. In-ceiling speakers can be good, and sometimes that's all you have because you're limited on maybe space or placement, or if you have a wife and you have the wife acceptance factor. Fortunately, I don't have that problem right now. But if you can go with even like a bookshelf speaker, if you can go with a proper height speaker that's you can mount and aim and that's not in the ceiling, I promise you it's going to be a much better experience. So these have the same 28mm tweeter, also inside of a waveguide, but these are 5.25 inch or 5.5 inch woofers versus the 6.5 inch on like the 1723 monitors that I have. And then you have your removable grill. So really happy with those. And yeah, you can see more of the accent wall. So this was white before. I finally painted this. I got a lot of work that I need to do though, because there's a couple holes and some things that I need to do. Originally, I was going to do something else here, but it just didn't work out. So for the side surrounds, I'm using the 1961 monitors. Now I went with the monitors because I don't have a lot of space. My home theater room is only 10 feet wide, like exactly 10 feet wide. So I don't have a lot of space when it comes to side surrounds. Before I was using in-walls, which space wasn't an issue. And there's my Polk previous. So I have this aimable tweeter that I can move around. And then I think this is like a 5.25 inch woofer. And it sounded good, sounded okay. But again, you lose a lot of functionality when you have something that's in wall, because it's in the wall. And, you know, there's a lot of open space behind the speaker, and, you know, it's just not ideal. So put that back on there. So I decided to go with the 1961s because the 1723 surrounds are huge and they would have stuck out way further. So I still need room to be able to walk, you know, to the front row here. But this is the 1961 monitor. This is also in an MTM configuration. So you've got your 5 1/4 inch, I believe, 5 1/4 inch tweeter, 28mm tweeter and a waveguide, and then another woofer in an MTM configuration, and it is sealed. So that's the 1961 monitor. And just to address, if you see this behind me, this white wall, I'm very lazy and I did not want to paint. I am going to paint this eventually. I know it looks weird. The tuxedo look is not intended. I just haven't painted it yet. So I still need to paint this wall, and as you saw in probably the previous section where I was showing you my heights, the ceiling is also white. I do need to paint that. It's just a lot of work for me to do myself, but it's eventually going to get done. I know I'm probably going to get questions about that. And then here I just have a Govee rope light that I just got a couple months ago, just to kind of give it a little bit of an accent light, and then to give me a little bit of more of a rim light when I'm doing my reviews and I'm sitting on the front row, just to have a little bit of light behind me, kind of like a rim light. This is a acoustic panel. So this is a diffuser. So I have 4 of these. I have 1 here, and then I have 3 on the ceiling that's right in between the front row and the second row. And yeah, so I want to get more before I actually, like, I want to do a review, but I want to get more of these because, you know, these aren't like ideally placed. I mean, I tried to cover like a reflection point because this whole, you know, most of this wall right here was just, you know, blank. There was nothing there to protect it from slap echoes and stuff like that. I just put these up on the ceiling. So I really need to go ahead and like do some research and find where I need to put these. I mean, ideally you want to put them on the ceiling too, because, you know, there's a huge surface and there's nothing on my ceiling except for up front, and those are some cheap Amazon panels. But yeah, I have these here, and then below I have some Acoustimac panels. I believe that's 12 by 24. And I have another one, I think you can see here. So this one is a 24 by 24. And then I have another one directly below that. And yeah, I think that's it for this wall. The Arendal 1961 monitors are mounted with the keyhole. I was trying to do like an actual mount, VESA mount, but that would have made this stick out even further, and it would have just been in the walkway for people trying to get to the front row, people, you know, leaving. So I just went ahead and did with the keyhole, and it works fine. I've got some little rubber feet on the back to protect it, and in case, you know, there's rattling, you won't get any rattling. So that's it for this side. On the other side, everything is the same, but I'll go ahead and show you that. So right away, you'll notice this side of the theater, which is the left side of my theater, is much darker. And that's because the whole wall is painted now. So before, this area here was white, and you may have seen it in some of my videos. I tried to avoid it. I tried to frame it to where it wasn't in my videos because it just looks so bad. You have a black wall, and then a partially white wall, and then, you know, an accent wall. But I finally painted it, and I still need to do some stuff with it. But yeah, so here's the other 1961 monitor speaker. Same thing, it's mounted on the keyhole. I have my previous Polk speaker that's in the wall, and then I have some acoustic panels. So I have some, so this is a bass trap, corner bass trap. It's meant to go in the corner, so it is corner-ish, even though there's no wall. But there's a bass trap. I have an acoustic panel, and then I have some other acoustic panels behind me, which I'll show you that too. But most of the acoustic panels in here are made by Acoustimac. I've had a lot of these for years, even at my parents' house. Very good quality, a little bit on the expensive side, cheaper when you consider what else is out there. But yeah, and then I have some baseball memorabilia, another acoustic panel, and then I have a Govee strip light that's going all across the top of, not on the ceiling, but close to the ceiling at the top. Actually got that from Govee themselves at CES when I filmed some stuff for them. They were like, hey, we want to give you a gift. So they gave me that and something else. But this room that I'm standing in right now, if you see this panel here, there was a wall here. So the other side that I was in before was two separate rooms. So right now, originally, I'm standing in kind of like a spare bedroom slash office. And when I was getting the house built, before the house even got built, I saw the floor plan, and I think I went and toured like a model home of the floor plan of this home. And I was like, nope, that room is too small. So on the other side was the media room, and you won't be able to see scale in the YouTube video, but it was very small. It was like 10 by, it's a little bit different because there's a little cubby in the back, but most of the rooms in this house, other than the master room, was like 10 by 10. So I was like, nope, I'm going to blow out the wall in between them because it's not a load bearing wall. All that was in the walls was electrical, which is why we built this casing, to kind of make it look nice and uniform, but also to cover up the wires that was in between the walls. So I blew that out, made it one huge room. So now the room is 10 feet wide, exactly 10 feet wide, by about 26 feet deep at the longest, because there's a cubby back there where my rack is, and then it's 8-foot ceilings. And I have a 10-inch riser that I built myself. I wanted to go about 12 inches, but I'm glad that I didn't, because 10 inches is just perfect with the hush box that I built myself. But yeah, so I built the hush box, and inside the hush box is my EPSON LS12000B projector. And yeah, I love this projector. Now, is it in-game? I'll leave that up to you to decide. It is in-game for me based on my budget and my needs. And I actually made a couple videos on the channel on this. I did a full review, and then I did a comparison with the Sony 5000 ES. And yeah, I know there's going to be, comments in the comment section about, oh, Epson's not native 4K, Sony's better. Like, whatever you like, that's what you like. And if you're a Sony fanboy, then be a Sony fanboy. If you're a JVC fanboy or Epson fanboy, some other fanboy, like, you do you. You like what you like. I don't care what other people think. I don't care if people think the Sony is better, or that, the Sony can beat the Epson on, black levels. Like, I don't care about all that. I did the review and I gave you my thoughts. And after having both of them in my theater at the same time, I decided to go with the Epson because it fits my needs. And it's laser. Both projectors are laser, but this is laser. My previous projector, I was using the Epson 5040UB, which is a bulb. I get 20,000 hours on this thing versus what I think 5,000 hours with the bulb. So massive difference. Laser, and just better black levels. If you're coming from like a 5040 or even a 6050, I think was the last model before they went laser, then it's an upgrade. So I'm happy with it. And when I made this hush box, my goal was to close it off and put some theater glass in front of the lens so that obviously it can project through the lens, through the theater glass. And I was going to do that for sound because my 5040 was like super loud and it was super annoying, and it's right above me. But it turns out the Epson is not nearly as loud as my 5050 was, or 5040 was. So I don't really feel the need to do it, and plus it'll help with heat dissipation. So yeah, kind of works out for me. But that's that. I think now, why don't we talk about the seating? So for seating, I'm using Valencia theater seats in my theater. And I want to take a quick moment to thank Valencia for sending out these seats to me to keep, and I don't have to give them back. So Valencia sent these seats to me. I just got these in like literally 2 days ago. Today's Friday, so yeah, I got them in on Wednesday. And yeah, they sent these to me, and in return, I'm going to be making a series of videos. One of those videos is going to be the home theater tour, which I told them that I would feature them in my theater. So yeah, these are the TUSCANY Ultimate Luxury Edition. This is part of their bespoke series, and these are the nicest home theater chairs that I've ever had in my theater. I love Valencia. I had purchased 2 Valencia seats before they even sent these out to me. So, you know, I'm not biased or anything like that. If I'm biased, it's just because I've always loved them. I always saw them on, you know, YouTube channels, and I was like, man, those look like some nice chairs, and I always wanted some. And then when I built my riser, I was like, you know what, it's time for me to get some nice chairs, you know, to addition to the theater. And I was only able to afford 2. I got the Syracuse edition, and I loved them. Like, the leather was super soft, very comfortable. But these, the Ultimate TUSCANY Ultimate Edition, these are far superior than the Syracuse that I have. So this has 20,000 grain Napa leather, and the leather is super soft, super comfortable, has that brand new leather smell that I absolutely love. And you've got a ton of features on this. So if you're coming from something that's like not part of their bespoke series, this is probably going to be a much needed upgrade. So I did a video on this already. If you haven't watched it, go watch that. And yeah, so that video was an unboxing, setup, and basically my first impressions. But I love these seats, man. So you've got a ton of different options. So you've got these cup holders that are metal versus the plastic ones that are on my Syracuse. It's super easy to take out. You can clean them. You can clean them if they get dirty, but super sturdy. And I believe you can even customize like the colors of the cup holders. It's going to cost you extra, but Valencia has so many customizable options. Go to their website, go check them out. And I am an affiliate, so if you want to purchase any seats from Valencia, use my affiliate link in the description, and I will get a small percentage of that if you want to support the channel. So you've got that, and then you'll notice you've got these lights that cycle through, and I can actually change those. So if I want to change that to a static color, I can do that. You've got green, blue, I believe that is, lime green, yellowish, like a teal turquoise color, purple, and then like a, I don't know what color that is, some type of blue. And then you can go back to cycling through the different colors. And then you've got these super deep armrests that you can put all kinds of stuff in there. So in this one, I have a tray table that I can put on this little accessory port there. So if I want to eat some food, eat some popcorn, eat some pizza, or share something with a friend, candy, I can put that here. Completely swivels 360 degrees. And then I also have, I think I have my tablet in here. Yeah, so my tablet fits in here. You can put controllers in here, remotes, tissue. I've seen people put blankets in here. And then on the other side, I've got a tablet / phone holder. So I can put this in the accessory port, and then I can take my phone and I can put that in there, and then I can sit here and check my phone. Maybe you're watching sports, you want to check ESPN, I can do that here. I can answer messages, emails, I can work in here if I want to. I mean, it's so many options that you have. And then I'm going to take this out because this isn't going to fit on this side. But if I take that out, take my phone out, put that over here. Doesn't just hold my phone, it also holds my tablet. Now it'll be in portrait or landscape mode, but you have that option too. So a lot of times I'll sit here and I'll put my tablet here, and then I'll use my ZIDOO controller app, and it's super convenient because I have that here. I can turn off the display, and then when I'm ready I can just use that. I can also control my SVS subwoofer. I can control the Arendal subwoofer that I have in for review right now. I can control the Kaleidescape. I can control my HomeKit, all kinds of stuff. And they also have a different accessories that you can use this accessory port with. You've got a wine glass holder, you've got a popcorn bowl holder, and there may be even a couple other items. But I really, really love these chairs. Like, these are, my friends are going to be fighting over these. Just to show you how much people love these chairs, when I have friends come over, there's a specific couple, you know who you are if you're watching. They try to sneak in here. They run in here before everybody else and try to get in. Before, I only had 2 seats. They haven't been in the theater since I've got these. I literally just got these 2 days ago. But now that I have these, I know they're going to try to run in here and sit in these seats because they're much nicer than my Syracuse. But now I have 4 seats. So hopefully eventually I'll be able to max them out, and I can fit 6 in here. But yeah, these seats are completely amazing. You've got some nice new controls. You've got USB-C. You've got regular USB Type A. You've got controls for your feet, your legs. I can recline. I can sit here. And if I want to control the headrest, I can do that. And I can just get super comfortable if I want to. I can even probably take a nap and sleep here. A few times I've slept in my Syracuse seats. These are going to be way comfortable. So I can already see some friends falling asleep in these chairs just because they're so comfortable. But yeah, Valencia theater seats, go check them out. And again, if you want to purchase anything, I'll leave some affiliate links in the description. But also, if you're thinking about these and you're thinking, man, maybe these are really expensive, which they are, but for a reason, because you're not going to find many other home theater chairs that are built like this and that are going to last. But if you're on the fence and you're wondering whether you should spend that money or not, you can actually check these chairs out and other chairs from Valencia at MWave 2024, which I will be at, and I will also be shooting some content at MWave for Valencia, and I believe they're going to be there at 2025. I don't even know if dates are announced for that yet. But if you want to try them out in person, come to MWave and you can do that. And I know another gentleman, which I'll be shooting his home theater in a couple weeks, because I'll be in Dallas in a couple weeks to shoot 4 home theater tours. One of them has Valencia theater seats, and he went with Valencia because he experienced them at MWave. So that's a really good opportunity. They also just opened up a new showroom in Dallas, which hopefully I'm going to get a chance to go to and film there as well, because it's a showroom, so they should probably have every chair that you can think of. But yeah, you have the Dallas showroom, Dallas, Texas, and then you have MWave 2024. So make your way out there and check out Valencia. I'll be there. If you see me, stop by and say hello. But I think that's it for the second row. I think all that's left really to show you is the front of the theater. So let's go ahead and do that now. All right, so we have pretty much made it to the end of the home theater tour, almost. But this is the front of my room where all the attention is. So a lot of this stuff is pretty familiar. I've got the Arendal 1723S monitor THX for my LCR. As you can see, love my Arendal system. It just sounds absolutely incredible in here, and it just continues to improve the more I add to it and tweak to it. So yeah, so that's my LCR. Behind the left and right speakers, I have some corner bass traps, also from Acoustimac. Just got those earlier this year. Turns out I don't have enough room in my corner to actually mount them on the wall. I'm gonna have to figure out something, but right now I just have them pretty much laid up against the wall behind the corner, in the corner behind my speakers. This is my SVS sub. This is I think it's a PC 2000, but it's an older sub. So it's not the one with the app. It's not the newest version. This one doesn't have an app. It has a 12-inch driver, and I believe there's a port in the back. Still hits pretty hard. This is my front sub, obviously. This thing can't touch the PB4000 though, but it's good to have, multiple subs. So I have my PB4000 in the back, and then I have this one in the front to kind of even out the bass. But I can probably make some adjustments and tweak it. However, even though the bass is more even with 2, I still notice that one is way more powerful. But I just need to go in there and do some tweaking and stuff. Let's see, for height speakers, I have the 1961 bookshelves. So I've got two of those. These are pretty much exactly the same as the 1961 height speakers. There's just no wedge. So the 1961 height speakers, they have a wedge and they're easier to mount. And these are just a box sealed. I think everything on it is the same. Frequency response, 4 ohm speaker, 5.5, I can't remember if it's 5.5 or 5.25 inch woofer, 28 millimeter tweeter inside of a waveguide. And yeah, originally my purpose, or my original goal idea, was to get all bookshelf speakers, the 1961s, and mount them. But you know, I ran into some issues trying to have to mount them on the ceiling, because I would ideally like to have these even higher. It works because it's in the front and it's aiming down towards the seating positions. But the 1961 height speakers just ended up being a better choice, and I have more leeway to mount those how I need to. And then I have the 1723 Arendal 1723 2V subwoofer in for review. This thing is a beast and it's heavy. It's funny, the delivery guy, the freight guy that delivered the M&K sub, was the same guy that delivered the Arendal sub, and he remembered me because the first time when I saw him when he delivered the MMK, he was like, "What is this? A speaker?" And I was like, "Nah, it's a subwoofer." So when he dropped off this one, the 2V, he was like, "Man, this thing is heavier than the last one. Be careful." And yeah, it's pretty heavy. Trying to move it around is not fun, which I'm gonna have to figure something out, because I have 2 more subs from Stark Sound that I'm gonna have to put here to do some B-roll and stuff like that. But it'll be interesting and it'll be fun. But yeah, so I have that in for review. After I finish playing with it, I might also purchase that as well. I don't know, but stay tuned, because I will be doing a full review on that video, or on that subwoofer, and I'll probably do another video integrating this into my Arendal system, because before I had the M&K sub. And then for the screen is a silver ticket 100-inch screen, and I've had this thing since 2017. This is the only screen that I've ever had. When I first bought my projector, the EPSON 5040 UB, I also bought this. So yeah, the silver ticket has served me well, and my goal is to upgrade to a Stewart film screen. I don't really need to upgrade. This has worked fine. It looks great, but I have seen Stewart's screens in person at shows, and there is a considerable difference. Like the build quality, the quality of the screen, how it looks it looks good. And I think a Stewart film screen paired with that Epson LS12000B, that's going to be chef kiss. So hopefully at some point I can get one in for a review, see if I like it, and then if I like it, you know, I can purchase it. But this is 100 inches, and I know some people are like, "Hey, are you gonna eventually go with an acoustically transparent screen?" I don't have that option because my room is only 10 feet wide, and because I have 2 rows, when I built my riser, I actually had to raise the screen up quite a bit, because the viewing distance from the second row, you could see the heads of the people in the front row, so I had to raise the screen, and I really don't have much room to raise this anymore. Also, there's a closet behind here, and there's about 2 feet, but in that corner there's an angle, so I really only have about a foot and a half. So eventually I would like to just push this wall back, blow out the wall and push it back, and give some more space to the front row. But even though doing that, I still wouldn't have room to put all my speakers behind the screen, because I would still need a couple more feet to build out the wall, you know, a false wall, and a shelf to put the speakers on. So it would just kind of defeat the purpose of me moving everything back. But that was one of the things I talked about last year. Wasn't able to do that this year. Hopefully I'll be able to do that next year. And I think that's everything else up front here. I've got some cheap acoustic panels from Amazon. I don't even know if they really do anything. I think I did some measurements, and there was a slight improvement in frequency response. But and then behind here, I have some black velvet that I bought off of Amazon. I think it comes in like a 5x10 sheet. And yeah, it totally changed the contrast or improved the contrast of my viewing of the screen. When I added this, even though the walls are painted black, this is like super, super dark, this stuff here. So it's not the prettiest and it's not aesthetically pleasing, but it works. So I think that's pretty much the whole tour. So this is what it looks like from the front row. As you can see behind me, I've got my new chairs and it looks very different now. And it's pretty funny because before I had a couch, and it was a light gray couch, maybe like heather gray, and I didn't realize how much light it was reflecting off because it was light colored. So when I got the new Valencia seats, I took the couch out and then I moved the Syracuse up front, and I was sitting in the back row and I was like, man, something looks different. It feels different. I was like, why does it seem like it's darker in here now? And then it took me a while, and then I realized, oh, my couch was reflecting a bunch of light because it was light colored, and it's actually pretty dark in here now. It's a lot darker. It's kind of weird. But yeah, man, this is the theater. Hopefully you enjoyed the tour. And yeah, there's still a lot of stuff that I need to do, or that I want to do. There's some things that I want to do that I don't necessarily need to do. But again, we're always trying to improve and add things. But yeah, I'm very happy with this. Again, like I said before, my theater is not the most aesthetically pleasing, and I don't think it's ever going to be, because a lot of this stuff, most of it I've done DIY, and I'm not a professional. I'm just kind of scraping by on how to do certain things that I can do to get by, to save some money. But I care much more about functionality than I do looks. So it sounds amazing in here. And each iteration has just gotten better and better. And I'm super excited for the future of this home theater. Again, there's some things that I would like to do and some things that are attainable that are, I'm just being lazy, like painting. I need to paint the back of the room. I need to paint the back ceiling. And then, I want to move the front wall back. But actually, as I'm sitting up here now with these seats, for some reason, it doesn't seem like it's as close, even though it's pretty much the same, length. But with these theater chairs, I feel like I don't have to tilt my head up as much. And maybe it's just because I have more of a support in the back and neck, whereas the couch only came up to, halfway, up my back. But I feel like I could sit up here and it's not going to be too bad. Eventually, I probably will have to move those Valencia chairs up to the front, because I designed the riser to have the big chairs up front, because 3 of those is 99 inches. And I'm like, if I get another chair and put that on the end, I'm not going to have very much room to like literally walk by. So ideally, those were designed to be placed up front, but I only have 2. And since I only have 2, I'm just going to use those in the back. But, ideally I would like to sit in the front row, but honestly, it sounds the best sitting in the back row. This is a little bit too close for me as far as the screen and how close the speakers are. I've sat up here up front numerous times when friends come over. I let them sit in the good seats, and sometimes it can be a little bit too loud. But I think if I was to be able to push the front wall back, then it's going to be perfect. But yeah, man, I hope you guys enjoyed the tour. Go back and watch my first home theater tour back in, 2021? That was one of the first videos that I ever did. That was the first video that blew up on my channel. It got like 20,000 views, which isn't much in the grand scheme of things. But go back and watch that video, and then watch my home theater tour from last year, and then watch the one from this year, and just see the progression, man, because I've gotten a lot of stuff a lot quicker than I thought. And on that note, I want to say a huge, huge thank you to everybody that watches my videos, whether you're subscribed or not. Obviously, I want you to subscribe. That really does help the channel, and that helps companies, because some companies look at your subscriber count and they won't even deal with you if you're not at a certain level. But I want to say thank you to everybody, because literally, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, all of this, it will 100% would not be possible without you guys' support, watching videos, commenting, subscribing. I'm only in this position that I am now literally because of you guys. If it wasn't for this channel, I wouldn't have half of this stuff, most of this stuff. So a big, big thank you to everybody that supports the channel. Obviously, I'm going to say it. If you're not subscribed, if you're watching this, please subscribe. Please hit the like button if you found value in this video. That also does help. I know sometimes I forget to like the videos on, you know, the people that I'm subscribed to and other content creators, but I do pretty good. I'm in this field, so I'm kind of more sensitive to it now. But liking the videos does help, and it does, you know, help the algorithm pushing out to more people. Home theater tours usually get pretty good amount of views. But if you want to continue to support the channel, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you share videos that you find helpful. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for everything that you've done. This was a fun one. I was looking forward to this literally all year. And, you know, this theater has changed so much from when I first moved into here, first moved into the house, from when I first started YouTube, and even like 6 months ago. Even the beginning of January of this year, it's changed so much. So I can't wait to see what 2024 is going to hold in store for the channel and for the theater. But again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys and everyone that supports the channel. And I'm going to say this because I say it in every video, but since this is a home theater tour and you guys have followed me on this journey, wherever you're at on your home theater journey, please make sure that you enjoy it. Don't get caught up in all of the price and stuff. Like, start small and build your way up, just like I have over the years, over, you know, 10+ years. But wherever you're at on your journey, make sure you enjoy it. For Haterade Cowboy Cinema, I'm Haterade Cowboy, and I will see you guys in the next video.